Ladies and gentlemen, with 1 day to go until our next Chicago Bulls game against the Indiana Pacers, we're struggling to find out what the Bulls exactly need to do to go on and compete against some of these other teams. We have a very, very tough schedule ahead of us. So this is a video that's talking about what went wrong against the Atlanta Hawks and what I'd like to see for the future games, even beyond the Indiana Pacers. Because some of the things that we saw in our first game is very, very worrying and something that I never want to see a Bulls team ever do again. And some of it is very demoralizing. So, without further ado, I'm going to keep this video short, but let's talk about the Bulls, things they need to improve on in their next game and beyond in this video. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aiden Sports Show and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Chicago Bulls video in relation to the improvements that the Bulls need to make heading towards their next game and of course their future games, because after the Pacers and really the Pacers as well, we have a very tough schedule ahead of us. So the Chicago Bulls need to find a way to bring their own energy, to bring a way to compete against these sides and pick up some wins that not many people, including the Bulls fans, are expecting to get. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aiden Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. Let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls so far? Obviously, one game in, it's too early to just say this team is a lost cause. But ultimately, what we saw against the Atlanta Hawks is not a good sign. We have to admit it sometimes. When we have optimism about some of these players and we have faith in some of these players, when they go and give you the energy levels that they bring against the Atlanta Hawks, you lose faith in people very, very quickly. Now, it's very, very hard to not overreact. Again, it is only one game, but I don't like that mentality when you play the way that you play against the Atlanta Hawks, how you basically don't try. You lose energy very, very quickly in the game. You start off energetic. Look, it's the first game. The Bulls are back. The Bulls are ready. We're going to win some games. And then within the second quarter, you're thinking, why are the Bulls even playing? They're not trying, so what's the point of them even being on the court? I never want to feel that way when I watch a sports team, let alone a basketball team. I never want to feel like my team's simply a lack of effort. Where's the effort? Who's not trying? Why are they not trying? What could possibly be the case for the Bulls not trying? There's one thing that I did see when going back, how many timeouts did Billy Donovan have to make in that game to try and bring some energy into this team? And how many times did they come out of a timeout with little to no energy about them? Look, simply put, we were not the better team against the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks, even if we competed with them, would have beaten us that game. That's not the troubling sign. At the end of the day, you're going to win, you're going to lose some games. Trae Young is an amazing talent, and sometimes amazing talent like that can beat teams that are well put together. It's just the way that it is. Trae Young is the reason that the Hawks won. But if we competed, if we actually brought some energy, if we brought some defensive energy, we would have at least competed with the Atlanta Hawks. And that is the saddest part. That is the troubling part. We could target individual players. Wendell Carter, Kobe White, we could target a lot of individual players as the reason why we lost that game. But simply put, this is a team's game, and it's the team is the reason why we lost. Every single person needs to be held accountable for that loss. And this is going to be a relatively negative video, but some of these things need to be said. If we're going to have a positive season, if we're going to expect this team to be a playoff contender, which a lot of people after one game are just saying that's not happening. But it's too early to tell. If we're planning to be that type of team, you need to change some of the things that have happened very early. You cannot allow energy levels like that to go on for 5, for 6, for 7 games, because then quickly as that, we will not be a playoff team. We can't let the amount of threes, the amount of things in the paint, the lack of awareness, the help defense, pick and roll defense, we cannot allow all these things to go unnoticed for 5 to 6 game stretches. Otherwise, we will end up not being a playoff team. There are many things this team needs to work on, and I'm not going to be the person to name every single thing. But what I am going to target is that the Bulls simply look like they did not want to be there. The Bulls simply look like they did simply not want to try to win the game. And the Bulls look like they simply have found no real energy to play at home. The fans are not there. We're going to have to adjust to that. But many teams, like the Atlanta Hawks, have to adjust to that too. That is no excuse. A home game is a home game. Fans or not fans, you need to perform at home. They're traveling to you. They're going above and beyond to get to your arena. You have the comfort of your own home. You have the ability to work out, to sleep in your own bed. You have all the positives there that can make this home game an advantage to you. Take those advantages. Go and compete. We got the Indiana Pacers in the next game. Indiana Pacers are a team that I think the Bulls can beat. We can beat the Indiana Pacers. Now, it's very unlikely that we beat them, but we can beat them. So we should be going out there, having the mentality, we can beat this team. If we give the energy, if we go and attack them, they are weak in many areas, the Indiana Pacers. If we can go and attack them, we can win that game. I want that mentality. And whether we win or lose, we could potentially lose that game. That's not a concern to me right now. The concern is, let's go and compete. The Bulls have said many, many times, we want to be a team that competes every night. From even last year, they want to be a team that competes every night. And for some nights, they were that team that competed. But they don't practice what they preach. They're not a team that competes every night. Because if they did, they would have competed against the Atlanta Hawks. They would have. It's the first game of the season. They do not practice what they preach. How could you fall so far behind in your first game and come out and say, we compete every night? The fact of the matter is, you don't compete every night. So the Bulls need to find that. Billy Donovan needs to find that. This team has all the talent in the world. I'll say that to anybody. Whether you're a Wendell Carter hater or a Wendell Carter fan, he has talent. He has potential. Whether you are a fan of Kobe White or you don't like Kobe White has potential. Kobe White is a good player. Zach LaVine can be an all-star. Larry Markkinen can get back to his best. These things can still happen, but they're not going to happen if you don't provide the energy to allow it to happen. If you don't provide the vibrancy, if you don't provide the skill as well to play. If any team comes out the way that the Bulls come out, they're not winning a game. So this is my video to the Chicago Bulls. Do the right thing. Go and compete. This next game, personal pride. I mentioned it in the match reaction. Personal pride against the Indiana Pacers must kick in. If we're going to come into the Bulls arena once again, the United Center, against the Pacers, and get our ass handed to us again, then of course the struggles will be there. People will start to realize who we are, that we buckle under pressure, we don't handle adversity well. When it's all going good, it's going great. But how many times is it going to go well for the Chicago Bulls? We are not a team that has a LeBron or has a Luka or has a Zion, where even if it doesn't go well, we have that player to carry us out of it. We don't have that. Right now, we need to rely on each other. We need to be more of a team as ever. Billy Donovan needs to put these units close together and allow them to fight for each other. He says it all the time, how to play together, how to fight for each other, how to sacrifice for each other to win games. In that first game, we failed to do those things. In the second game, we need to see improvement in those areas. We need to compete, we need to sacrifice, we need to fight for the games, we need to win every loose ball. We need to make sure that the United Center is a place where people come and fear, or people come and they buckle under pressure because they know the type of team that they're getting. The Bulls have a long way to go. Jim Boylan royally screwed this team up. This team has not been built properly, and we need to wait and see if there is any salvation in this season for the Chicago Bulls. Playoffs, I'm not ruling it out. I won't rule it out until it's physically impossible to rule out. But the Chicago Bulls, that's where you need to improve. I don't care about the turnovers. I don't care about the mistakes you make on offense and defense. That will come. That will come with time and practice and, of course, more time around the team and the new coaching staff. All those things will get fixed sooner than later. The energy is the first thing that I want to see. If we lose to the Pacers, I want to lose to the Pacers knowing that we competed and we brought the energy required to win the game. And we wait and see on that. And most games, that's what I expect. I expect us to bring the energy because the skills will come. The turnovers, we will hopefully not see as many turnovers as we did. We will hopefully see a better quality offensive and defensive side. But the energy is where I think the Bulls need to improve. And that is my message to the Bulls. In the next game, bring the energy. Bring the competitiveness. And we will see where we go from there. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this video. Bit of a negative video. It's more of a rant, to be fair. But as Christmas rolls around, the Bulls, look, you guys might enjoy your Christmas, but a lot of people will be thinking about the Bulls if you're a Bulls fan and how we have a game tomorrow and how that kind of brings your mood down knowing that last game brings you very worrying signs. So the Bulls need to bring all Bulls fans back into the positive camp by going and competing in this game. And whatever happens, happens. But if you compete, I think a lot of Bulls fans will see that and they'll say, that's a better start than what we saw against the Atlanta Hawks. That's an improvement. And of course, winning games is essential. You need to win games. Winning games will always be a big part of a season. But right now, after what I saw against the Atlanta Hawks, the only thing I'm looking for is just some energy in the place. I want to see some entertaining basketball. I want to see the Bulls try. And let's see if they'll be able to do that in their next game. It's sad that I even had to make a video saying that the Bulls didn't try. But so far, not one person can tell me that the Bulls actually gave effort in that game. The fact of the matter is, we have talent on the offensive side, and that's why we scored 104 points. But there was no effort in that game. Have a wonderful day. Hopefully the Bulls will pick it up in the next game against the Indiana Pacers. We do have a back-to-back against the Warriors as well. So it's a very tough schedule. Again, we're going to have to get used to that very, very quickly. Take care and peace.